welcome back to Beauty Bee and to my new vanity. I don't think you guys have seen this yet. I could be mistaken. I've certainly filmed a couple videos sitting at this spot with my camera over here, but I don't think y'all have seen the vanity yet. I'm really liking it. I think it's a fun new setup. But today we are not here to talk about that. Today we are going through my, I believe, 10-month update of my Project 100 uses, which 10 months, that's insane. So I feel like I should have quite a few things to 100 uses, considering that that's 10 uses a month. And there are definitely palettes that I think I should be using 10 times each month, but we actually only have one thing to add to the 100 club this month. And I think let's just start with that actually. We usually do eyes first anyway. So the really exciting news this update is that I got my NYX Pop palette to 100 uses. Now this is looking very, very different than it did at the start of the project. At the start of the project, I had all 10 shades in there, and it was in its proper palette. I believe two of them were, no, one got actually finished, which amazing, love that. I chose not to repress one, which was a deep sort of satin purple. It had just never performed that well. And then two of them were casualties of the move. There was a warm bronzy shade and a olive green, and they both just shattered. So I'm left with 6 shades, which is a little bit sad, but I do love this palette. I think it's super useful. It was my favorite for ages and ages. I've had this palette now for 4.5 years, I think. So I'm glad that I'm getting my use out of it, and I'm just really happy to have another thing at 100 uses. That's fantastic for me. And you know what, since this is out, I used my ColourPop singles, which is this half of the palette, 16 times in the past month for a total of 34 uses. So I've hit the 20 use mark and far exceeded the 20 use mark on these shadows. I think most of my use has probably come from the silver and from Glass Bowl, which is a duochrome with sort of a, actually, can you see? Yeah, sort of a beige base and then a blue flip to it. It's very pretty. Also, I just rubbed my finger against something because, oh wow, I have very, very colorful hands now. I really have liked these ColourPop singles a lot. I actually just bought 2 like 20 minutes ago. So those will be joining the collection soon, and I'm really happy that I am actually getting use out of them. I was kind of worried when I purchased the singles that I just wouldn't use them, but they would, you know, get put in a magnetic palette like this one and just go in my collection to die, but they haven't, and I'm very, very happy about that. Now I haven't hit any other of my milestones in eyeshadow. I try for 20 uses, 50 uses, and of course the really big milestone is 100 uses. Haven't hit 20 or 50 on anything else, but I think that I am set up pretty well to hit 100 uses next month on my NYX Ash palette. Let's see, I've got that number in front of me. I am currently at 86 uses on that, and I've used it only 3 times in the past month, but I feel like I say this in every video recently. I did move over the time that was in between last update and now, and I didn't have most of my makeup with me during like a 3.5 week period in there. So the NYX Ash palette was one of the things I didn't have. So I think that I got 3 uses in is actually a good sign that I will be able to get those 14 uses over the next month to get to 100. There is also a non-zero chance that I will have my Maybelline Mad About Town City Mini palette up to 100 uses. I'm currently at 78 uses, which usually I would not say that I'm on track to use anything 22 times over 1 month. However, I've really been enjoying that palette. I've been using it to fill in my brows quite often, especially on days when I'm not filming. I actually filled them in using that color today though, because I wasn't really planning to film today. So I used it 20 times in the past month. So I think that 22 times in the next month isn't totally out of the question. And if it's not at 100 uses in July's update, I'm almost certain that it will be in August's. I usually round out the sections of this video by talking about products that I have completely neglected in the past month. But again, because I was moving and I didn't bring most of my makeup with me as I was doing the traveling portion of the move, I don't think that really makes sense this time around. There are a few things that got absolutely no use this month. My ColourPop Lady Bird Super Shock and my e.l.f. Hot Jalapeno quad. Well, now it's a trio, but originally it was a quad. And while I will make a point of using those in the next month, I actually think that I did a surprisingly good job of rotating through my makeup recently, even as I was really busy. And next, let's move on to lips. I hit 3 milestones this month in the lips category. 2 of them are the 20 use mark. That's usually what I end up hitting in the lip category. It's just very difficult to use a lipstick 50 times. I do like to switch up really most of my makeup routine, but especially lips and eyes, it's hard for me to consistently use one product. And honestly, I'm not sure that there are enough uses in most lipsticks with reapplication and everything to get to 100 uses, because I only count 1 use per day. Though that's an interesting question. I will have to keep that in mind as some of these lipsticks that I have added to my collection since I started the project start to get up there. Anyway, the 2 lipsticks that I got to 20 uses are on very, very different ends of the spectrum. One is from Dior. It is the 999 lipstick, and it's what I'm wearing today, though mine has worn down quite a bit. I've eaten since I applied this, and I actually still think it looks pretty good. I have used that 21 times, including 5 times in the past month. Well, I guess now I've used it 22 times because I compiled this list last night. And on the very other end of the spectrum, we have this lipstick from e.l.f. This is the Hydrating Core Lip Shine in the shade Delightful. It has a little heart in it. It's like a disappointing version of the Kaja one. And I wouldn't say that I really like this lipstick, but I keep finding myself using it. I have used this so much in the past month. I had only 8 uses last month, and I'm at 23. So I've used this 15 times. I've used this every other day. Now, a lot of that is that this is one of those lipsticks that I'll just put on when I want to have something on my lips. I don't find it to be super moisturizing. I don't think it works as a really good treatment for your lips or anything, but I mean, it's summer. My lips aren't particularly dry right now. So when I just want to have something on, this is what I've been tending to reach for. And that's definitely showing up in my numbers. My usage was very focused on just a few products this month in the lip category. Again, partially because I only took a few lipsticks with me as I was moving, but also with this product, it's because I've had it sitting next to my desk as I'm working. And this is the Maybelline Pink for Me lipstick. I used this 22 times in the past month for a total of 69 uses. And here's what we have left. This is my project pan this year, and I am trying to finish it. And that is looking super, super achievable right now. I am really happy with my progress on this lipstick. This is a shade that is very easy for me to wear for every day. Let me give you a swatch of this too. I mean, we've already started swatching, why not? Why not continue down that route? This is really easy to wear for me. It goes with pretty much anything. And like I said, this sits next to me as I'm working. I'll reapply after lunch if I want to touch up before a Zoom meeting or something. This is quite often what I'll reach for, and I've really been enjoying it. It seems that we're keeping with this very high-low theme in the products that I think I will achieve milestones on in the next month. The first is my Pat McGrath Labs Lip Trio. These are 3 minis. I got these in a set sometime in April. 2020 still has me messed up on what month it is. In any case, I have used these quite a bit in the last month. I have used these 7 times for a total of 13 uses. Almost all of those, probably 6 of those 7 times, were on the shade Softcore, which again is a super wearable nude pink shade for me. This one is a little bit more pink than Maybelline Pink for me, but it is again a very, very pretty shade, and clearly one that I've really been enjoying using. And then again, we have e.l.f. This is the Day to Night Lipstick Duo, and I have used this so much in the past month. Let me pull that up. I've got that on slightly higher in my sheet. Yeah, I used this 13 times in the past month for a total of 16 uses. Most of those uses have probably been on the night side, which is a little bit darker. This is like an orangey brown. But I will also quite often mix in a little bit of the lighter side, which is more of a peachy, for me, nude shade. I am pleasantly surprised by this, and when e.l.f. was running its 60% off sale, I don't know if it still is, but I was seriously considering getting the pink one in the same formats. It has a bit of a like deeper, more berry pink and a little bit of a lighter pink. But I decided that I have plenty of pink lipsticks and probably don't need to add 2 more, though. They are very nice. The little collection of things that I have next to me has slowly been evolving over the course of the video. But now we get to move to the final category, which is face stuff. And I did a great job in this category this month. I have 2 items that I've gotten to 20 uses and 3 items that I've gotten to 50 uses. So let's start out with the 20. The first is the Bare Minerals Gen Nude Blush Mini. It seems stupid to call this a mini because it's gonna last me probably 2 years of everyday use, but I got this up to 20 uses. I used it 2 times in the past month to get it there. So I went from 18 to 20, and I can't actually see brush marks in it, so I guess that's progress. And then Laguna from NARS, I only got back in April, and I have used this 13 times in the past month for a total of 24 uses. I am really happy with this shade. I thought looking online that it was going to be very orange for me, but it almost has a yellow tone to it, and I find it really flattering and really easy to wear. And I'm just overall really happy with this. It's definitely warming me up to bronzers a little bit. Pun not intended, but appreciated. And I can actually see a little bit of use on this. On the side, I can see a little bit of a dip. I say things like that as though I'm trying to pan them. I'm not really. I mean, someday in the distant future, I would like to finish these things, but I'm not in any rush. I'm enjoying them. They'll be good for a very long time. I'm perfectly happy keeping them around for quite a while. This next item I actually am trying to pan, which is probably part of why I got this to 63 uses. This is my Wet n Wild Rosé Champagne blush. I have the tiniest little bit of pan in there, which is a pretty recent development. I used this a lot in the last month. I used this 17 times for a total of 63 uses. And I recently added this to my project pan for the year, so I will link that video if you are interested. But I'm looking forward to continuing to use this. Oh, I didn't even notice I have a tiny, tiny little baby pan in there too. 2 tiny pans. Yay. That was really loud, I'm sorry. The next 2 items are both face palettes. The first is my Benefit Cheek Leaders palette, which the camera is really not liking the color on. But I have used this exactly 50 times. I used it 20 times in the past month, which seems like a lot, and I'm really happy with that progress. It's very pretty, super user-friendly, and I love the way the different colors play together. Can I get a good picture of this? Probably not. Honestly, I think that's probably not too bad. But this has California, Tickle, and Dandelion in it, and I like all 3 of the products. Next we have another face palette. This is from Physicians Formula, and it is the very, very heavily fragranced All-Star Face Palette. Has 2 bronzers, 2 highlights, a blush, and a powder. I actually think that I spread my use among the different products pretty well. I probably use the powder more than anything else. But I've definitely used everything except this matte bronzer, which just doesn't work on me. It is too dark and too almost olive toned to really work on my skin. But I think I've used everything else at least a couple times in the past month. I really like this. I've used this 51 times, including 9 times in the past month. And this wasn't even something that I brought with me as I was moving. So I've gotten 9 uses just in the past week and a half, plus, I don't know, 4 or 5 days that I had between filming my last update and moving. So this is definitely a favorite. I just wish that it didn't smell so much. I find it very pleasant 90% of the time, but sometimes it's just too much for me. Now, because I hit so many milestones this month in my face category, I think I'm unlikely to hit many, if any, in the next month. But I know the reason why that's happening, it's because I did make so much progress this month, and I'm okay with that. I will accept it. And with that, I think we have reached the end of the video. I'm really happy with my progress this month. I am excited to hopefully roll a couple of things, at least 1, maybe 2 things into the 100 Club in the next update. And I hope that you will check in to see that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please consider liking and subscribing if you did. And as always, I hope I'll see you in the next video. Bye.